Comparison is a trap. It sneaks in quietly, a subtle whisper at first, telling you that someone else is better, faster, smarter, luckier, more talented. You catch yourself scrolling through social media, feeling that sting of envy, noticing the highlights of other people's lives while minimizing your own struggles and progress. You start to believe that the success you want is already taken, that the opportunities you crave are reserved for someone else, that your efforts don't measure up, and before you know it, you're stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, distraction, and paralysis, constantly chasing a mirage of someone else's version of success instead of creating your own. The truth is, comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your motivation, your confidence, and ultimately your progress. But it's also a choice. You can choose to stop feeding it. You can choose to stop giving your power away to other people's lives and instead focus on winning your own game. The first step is understanding why we compare ourselves in the first place. It's wired into us. Human beings are social creatures who naturally look to others for cues on how to behave, what to value, and where we stand. In the past, this helped us survive. Knowing if you were stronger, faster, or more skilled than the person next to you mattered. But today, this instinct is exploited by social media, advertising, and culture that glorifies the highlight reel and hides the grind. When you see a perfectly curated photo, a flashy new car, or a story of instant success, your brain tries to make sense of it with the limited information it has. You don't see the hours of work, the failures, the setbacks, or the sacrifices. Behind the scenes, you only see the trophy and your mind whispers, "You're not enough." To stop comparing yourself, you must first recognize the lies that comparison tells. Comparison makes you believe that the path you're on is wrong, that your pace is too slow, or that you're missing out. But the reality is every journey is unique. Everyone has different starting points, resources, challenges, and timelines. Your journey doesn't have to look like theirs. In fact, it shouldn't. The most successful people in the world are the ones who carved their own path, who ignored the noise, who stayed true to their vision even when it seemed unconventional or slow. Comparing yourself to others is like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It wastes energy and blurs your focus. Once you recognize the trap, the next step is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking outward and measuring your worth against others, start measuring it against yourself. Track your own progress, celebrate your small wins, and set goals that are meaningful to you, not what the world says you should want. This internal focus builds self-trust, which is the foundation of confidence. When you trust yourself to deliver, to improve, and to handle setbacks, you become unstoppable. Self-trust silences the noise of external comparison and turns your attention to your own growth. Another powerful way to stop comparing is to limit your exposure to triggers. Social media is designed to keep you hooked on comparison by flooding your feed with curated content meant to provoke envy or desire. It's okay to take breaks or unfollow accounts that make you feel less than. You can choose what you consume. Just like you choose what you create, the less you expose yourself to the highlight reels of others, the more space you have to focus on your own story, create boundaries around your digital life, and guard your mental energy fiercely. The quality of what you consume influences the quality of your mindset and action. Equally important is to cultivate gratitude and perspective. When you regularly remind yourself of what you have, what you've overcome, and the opportunities still ahead, you neutralize the poison of comparison. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring ambition or settling. It means recognizing that you're not starting from zero, that your journey has value, and that every step forward is progress. Perspective helps you see that no life is perfect, that struggles are universal, and that what you see on the surface rarely reflects reality. This mindset reduces the power of envy and replaces it with motivation to improve. Next, embrace your uniqueness as your greatest asset. Your combination of experiences, skills, personality, and mindset is unlike anyone else's. This uniqueness is what allows you to contribute something the world needs that no one else can. When you start winning by focusing on your own strength and values, you stop trying to copy or compete with someone else's blueprint. You become original. And originality is what creates lasting success. People are drawn to authenticity, to confidence that comes from owning your path, and to the energy of someone who is fully present in their own journey. You also need to accept that winning isn't a moment. It's a process. Too many people look at success as a final destination, a trophy, a number in the bank, a title, and get discouraged when they don't arrive there quickly. Winning is about consistency, discipline, and resilience over time. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it, pushing through setbacks, and learning from failure. Each day you make progress, even small, adds up when you stop comparing. You stop chasing an illusion, and instead you build a reality rooted in your own growth. Winning becomes inevitable because it's built on a foundation you control. Part of this process is to practice self-compassion. When you slip into comparison or self-doubt, don't beat yourself up. Recognize it as a signal to recalibrate your focus. Talk to yourself like you would to someone you care about. Encourage yourself to refocus, reset, and recommit. Your inner dialogue shapes your identity. Harshness feeds doubt. Kindness builds confidence. You are your most important teammate and critic. Make that relationship a source of strength, not pain. Another critical element is to redefine what winning means to you. Culture often tells us winning is about money, status, or external validation, but true winning is about living a life aligned with your values, feeling fulfillment in your progress, and having the freedom to be yourself. When you define success on your own terms, comparison loses power because the goalposts belong to you alone. You become less interested in what others have and more focused on what matters most to you. Finally, surround yourself with people who inspire and support you rather than trigger comparison. Find communities that celebrate growth, effort, and authenticity. Distance yourself from toxicity and competition that breeds envy. Real growth happens in connection, not isolation. When you feel supported and understood, you can focus on winning your own race rather than trying to outrun others. In summary, to stop comparing yourself and start winning, you must recognize the trap, focus inward, limit exposure to triggers, cultivate gratitude and perspective, embrace your uniqueness, commit to the process, practice self-compassion, redefine winning, and build a supportive environment. It's a long journey, but an empowering one. When you finally break free from the chains of comparison, you unleash your full potential, build a life of purpose, and win on your own terms. This is your game. Play it with intention, confidence, and pride. The world is waiting for what only you can bring. Step up and win.